Welcome back to Week 7 of the Fantasy Fix. You know, the Rams have produced some great fantasy running backs. Eric Dickerson, Lawrence Phillips, and NFL Network analyst Marshall Faulk, who comes to us courtesy of the BodogFantasy.net. Of course, I don't know how I said that with a straight face.
Oh, wow.
All right, no, not Marshall, Lawrence Phillips. All right, Tom Brady, 12 touchdowns in 6 games. Marshall, what kind of chance does he have to break Peyton Manning's single-season record of 49?
Right now, it's a very good chance. When you look at Tom and what he's done and the weapons that he has, it's unbelievable that this guy is on pace to break a record that when Marino had the record, we didn't think it could be reached. He looks like he's in, not just control of his team, but in control of the other team's defense also.
Hey, Marshall, the Bears gave up a ton of yards on the ground last week against Minnesota. Should Brian Westbrook be licking his chops to face them at home this week?
Yes, Brian should. When you look at this Bears defense right now, although they have injuries and they got some of those guys back, right now there's just holes in the defense, because on the back end of the secondary, when you have guys out, when you have safeties out that come in and they have to feel or they have to fit to stop the run, most of the time you find out that they're going to struggle in that way. Westbrook is a dynamic that's a little different than Peterson, because he catches the ball out of the backfield, but still, he's going to pose definitely a threat, and this is a good game. He's watching that film from last week.
Marshall, it took 5 weeks, but Drew Brees looked much more like his old self against Seattle last week. Can he keep it going against the struggling Falcons at home?
You know, well, when you think about Drew, right now he's on the road, and he's on the road. He's done a really good job in this game at protecting the ball. And I think that we forgot that he can't complete passes. I believe he was trying too hard. His receivers were dropping the ball. And I think against this Atlanta defense, he can most definitely keep it going.
Marshall, Alex Smith may be returning to the 49ers this week. How important is he to this offense and to Frank Gore, who I think has run very hard, but he has struggled with Smith out of the mix?
It's amazing. We forgot exactly what this offense was like with Alex Smith, to where we're thinking when he comes back, he's going to provide him a lift. I understand he is a starter, but he's struggled. He's had 4 offensive coordinators in four different years. That's tough for a young guy. He's going to continue to struggle. Last year, Norv did a great job at getting him to understand the things that he could do, calling the plays that he was comfortable with, and Frank had a great year. Frank is going to struggle until this passing game comes alive, and I don't see it coming alive soon.
All right, with that, Marshall, give me your stud, your dud, and a sleeper for Week 7.
Well, I start with my stud. Any running back that faces Denver Broncos right now, and you have fast Willie Parker and the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're committed to the run. They can run the ball. They have the offensive line to dominate the defensive line of the Broncos. My dud, I'm going with Edgerrin James here. I'm picking another running back. The Redskins' defense last week against the Pack, they were just phenomenal. If they hadn't turned the ball over and allowed the Pack's defense to score touchdowns, that would have been an easy game for the Redskins to win. And my sleeper, Chad Johnson. The Jets don't put enough pressure on the quarterback. And Carson Palmer, he's been finding TJ a lot. This will be a week that we see Chad Johnson get back on the mark.
He needs to get back on the mark. All right, Marshall, thanks for taking a break from your NFL Network duties to break it all down for us. And as always, we want to thank BodogFantasy.net. Well, which players will start their engines come Week 7? Which guys